Hey students, it's that time of day. It's story time with Henny Penny and Mrs. Hayes. I have a fun story to read with you today. It is a fiction, so it's a made up story, and the author's purpose for this is to entertain you. So I'm going to read in this story several multisyllabic words and words with suffixes and prefixes and words with base words as well as affixes. I'd like you to pay attention to those while I read them. And tomorrow I'm going to give a lesson on decoding words, breaking words down into sounds, syllables, affixes, base words, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. The name of the story is called My School's Zoo, and the author is Stu Smith, and the illustrator is David Catro. He did some great illustrations in here, really fun pictures. All right, and the AR level is 3.0, so it's about third grade. Look at that, lots of yellow page. Yesterday's trip to the zoo left me feeling rather strange. Like my life was somehow different or just about to change. You'll notice as I go along, there's lots of rhyming words in here. It's almost a story, a poem written in a story form. My parents didn't look the same. I watched them snort and drool. My sister ate my homework. I'm glad it's time for school. Some snorting going on and drooling at that table. As I climbed aboard the school bus, my heart began to race. The driver waved his hairy arms with a banana in his face. Animals crammed in every seat. Where'd all the people go? There has to be an answer. I bet Miss Wright will know. Look at that hairy bus driver. Oh my gosh. That'll be a crazy drive to school. I ran into my classroom, but my teacher wasn't there. I would have told the sub if she hadn't been a bear. There were beehives in my desk and lizards at my feet. A goat ate all my pencils. There were needles on my seat. This kind of needles. Porcupine needles. By the time I got to art class, there was nothing I could do. There were pythons on the ceiling wreaking havoc with the glue. Oh my goodness, what a mess that would be to have to clean up. Computer lab was crazy. The mice were eating slugs. The computers didn't work on account of all the bugs. Here you go, Julia. Love this page, all these bugs. I tried to call for help, but a yak was on the phone. The principal was useless. He was gnawing on a bone. Now, this does not look like Mr. Attell. Mr. Attell is not a useless principal, but this yak is chewing on a bone. The librarian caught me hiding as she threw me quite a look, Miss Crandall. As I glanced around the room, I noticed worms in every book. Yeeks, Miss Crandall, that'd be a mess for you. Your books don't have worms in them. The lunchroom sure was crowded, and the aides looked pretty mean. The lions and the wildebeest were causing quite a scene. The lobster in my lunchbox snapped its claws up in the air. A vulture watched me patiently so he could take his snare. Excuse me. Quite chaos in the lunchroom. The turtles on the playground were spinning down the slide, while hyenas laughed in chorus as a hippo took a ride. I got a tickle in my throat. Music class was noisy. A penguin led our band. The ostrich missed his cue, and the monkey smashed his hand. Oh, Miss Summers, this wouldn't be happening in your music class. I was feeling kind of nauseous That means like you're going to throw up. So I went to see the nurse. By judging by her awful fangs, I thought she'd make things worse. Here's the nurse. A bat. Oh boy. Those fangs look scary. There were starfish on my papers, and a beaver cleaned the boards. The seal clapped to erasers while a fox gave out awards. At least they're all working together. The bus ride home was dreadful, full of dread. The skunks made quite a stink. Of course, that's what skunks do. Did the zoo trip cause this mess? I closed my eyes to think. The next thing that I knew, the driver tapped my hand. Things seemed back to normal with my sister eating sand. So something's kind of changing back to normal for him. Wonder where all the animals went. I sure hope that our next trip to the dinosaur display won't have the same effect as the zoo trip did today. But that could never happen. The dinosaurs are gone. At least I think they are. Then again, I could be wrong. Reading books. Look at that. There's a dinosaur on that chair. Oh, look. At night, the dinosaur's looking in his window. All right. That's the end of the book. What a fun little book. Lots of rhyming words. Lots of crazy illustrations about animals at school. Why do you think all of a sudden things got back to normal? When he got a hand tap, the bus driver tapped his hand. I wonder what that was about. He finally, maybe he was taking a little cat nap, a snooze on the way home, dreaming, and then the tap on his hand woke him up, and then he was back to reality. His sister eating sand. Anyway, kids, I'm going to go, and you have a good night, and talk to you tomorrow.